evening and a very warm welcome to the special election show that we bring you on SABC 2 and DSTV channel 404. My name is Leanne Manas-Tupiso. Listen here, 29 days.
A whole 29.
Until the elections. Can you believe it?
Tell you what, it still means though that we've got plenty of time to give the viewers at home a quick peek in what they can expect from their parties. That's what the show is about anyway. Yeah. Every election year we bring you the latest from your political parties and they tell you, in fact, the special moments that they give you 60 seconds, I think, we give the parties, and that's when they go and they tell you why you should vote for them and why they're important to you. Good evening, I'm Thabiso Sithole. Thank you very much once again for joining us right here on SABC News, channel 404, and our sister channel SABC 2. Of course, we're not alone, Leanne. No. The brave man, he's flying solo tonight on the hot seat, Simpiwe.
It is hot indeed, Thabiso, and I'm actually feeling the heat already. Very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I'm Simpiwe Ngongwane, and our theme today is housing. And earlier on, we asked you on Twitter, what do you think how the housing delivery can be improved? We also went to the streets to get some opinions on the issue. We also had some compliments on the show. Well, Thabiso and Leanne, yes, the set, they did compliment us about it, and we also like it. Like, who wouldn't? And, and as well as your reaction, we do appreciate your feedback and your reaction to it.
Right, indeed. I have to agree. I really do have to agree. All right, we'll see you in a short while. Let's now just take a look at the issue that you've brought up and that we're asking you on Twitter. With a countrywide backlog of 2.1 million houses, the issue of low-cost housing delivery to registered beneficiaries remains a very thorny process for the Department of Human Settlements.
Indeed, and now it's plagued by corruption, maladministration and inflated building contractor prices, and the department wants to make the system more fair and transparent. Nozintombi Mia filed this report for us.
It's been a long and grueling road for delivering houses to previously disadvantaged communities. So far, 4.3 million houses have been delivered since the dawn of democracy. But a host of problems have held the system hostage. There's a backlog of 2.1 million registered people on the National Housing Waiting List. And it's still unclear how many more still need houses desperately. For Janapa Adams, living in Slovo Park informal settlement, it's been a struggle with no running water, no electricity and no flushing toilets. She doubts whether she and her family will receive a government house.
We really don't know what to believe. We would be happy to have the services, but for now, we really don't believe these days.
With a growing population, the Department of Human Settlements says demand far outstrips supply. The Built Environment Support Group agrees on this point. The persistent corruption in the housing allocation and supply chain undermines the work being done to deliver quality houses equitably.
We've seen corruption being endemic in the housing delivery process. It doesn't only happen in the award of tenders, and it doesn't only happen to unsuitable contractors. There are very many capable contractors, as we saw with the World Cup stadiums issue, who will use bribery and corruption as a way of keeping their nose ahead of the field. It runs totally contrary to the PFMA.
The Director General of Human Settlements, Mbulelo Changa, explains how his department is ensuring that the waiting list is regulated, fair and transparent.
The waiting list, one of my colleagues said people in the waiting list simply wait. And if people are waiting in the waiting list, it is because the supply doesn't meet the demand.
We do know that there has been massive issues of corruption in terms of contractors getting the tendering process and building shoddy houses, houses that are not of the correct quality for people or are substandard. How do you ensure that those particular suppliers or contractors are blacklisted within the database of the Human Settlements Department?
There are instances of officials who have been fired for colluding with service providers. We've seen instances of service providers who have been red-listed or blacklisted on the NHBRC list.
Nozintombi Mia, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Rustenburg municipality in northwest is endowed with mineral resources such as platinum and chrome, and with a population estimated at over 500,000, it was an economic hub, especially at the beginning of the millennium.
Now, despite the influx of economic migrants that led to competition for resources such as jobs, houses, water and electricity, it enjoyed enormous growth. But setbacks started with industrial action in 2012 and 2014 in conjunction with the decline in the demand of platinum as well as political turmoil.
It is one of the country's thriving municipalities. Massive infrastructural projects have been carried out here in the last few years, bringing much-needed jobs for the unemployed. But since 2012, the municipality's economic growth has plummeted due to successive industrial action that has led to massive job cuts and closure of several mines. This has also affected the rollout of services.
We don't have houses, water, electricity, clinics and schools, but we have been living here for years.
Rustenburg is a tale of two cities, a town defined by a highly industrialized economy, while on the other hand mirrors inequalities demarcated by poverty and squalor conditions.
I've lived here for 15 years, but there's no change in our living conditions.
The Democratic Alliance, which is the official opposition party, maintains that the current ANC-led administration has not offered anything tangible in response to challenges confronting the municipality. Over 5 billion rand in rate and taxes debts and wasteful expenditure is robbing the municipality of better prospects.
At this stage, we simply do not have money to repair and to maintain and to expand the infrastructure system. It's simply not there at this particular point in time. Due to the fact that the grants have not been spent for the purposes that they were intended.
Some disgruntled members of the ANC have defied the organization, citing alleged fraudulent list processes, and have registered all the wards in the municipality under Forum for Service Delivery.
The people are suffering, service delivery is suffering. There are a lot of, sewer leakages, water shortages and dirty water. So the bottom line is the unauthorized expenditure demonstrate that the people in power are not willing to serve. So the Forum for Service Delivery will come up with candidates who will serve the interest of the people.
The EFF has made significant inroads here.
Actually, after we have won, there are quite a things that we are going to look for. If you go through with our manifesto, we are talking about the issue of the sanitation, the house, and the development at large in terms of the infrastructure in Rustenburg.
But the ANC's mayoral candidate and current executive mayor is not swayed by the accusations. He says plans are underway to diversify the economy of the municipality. This will range from mineral beneficiation, agro-processing, and a center for research and innovation. Billions of rands are earmarked for these projects.
A study which was done recently is that if you go back to about 2012 to about 2015, we have lost in this area about 29,000 jobs. So we must find a way of replacing those jobs and creating a lot more jobs.
The 3rd of August could be a defining moment for this municipality's political future and its economic prospects. Behind these walls lies the political ambitions of parties vying for this year's elections, and many of them are confident that they will emerge victorious. The question, though, is will they live up to the promises they made post the 3rd of August? Tatai, SABC News, Rustenburg.
South Africa, we received your reaction on our question, how could housing delivery be improved? I mean, this has been a very thorny issue for both the government and all the stakeholders involved. And I see there's been some very interesting tweets coming through, and I'm just going to read a couple of them. Kosi Makotiana says that as long as people sell RDP houses and the spaces of their shacks are monitored, no difference at all. And Jacobus Vernaching, well, he writes that create permanent jobs and they can buy their own low-cost housing. Very interesting there. And Lindogutle Zondi says, give people the means to build their own houses. I mean, they can, jobs, he says that liberalize trade, reduce all forms of taxes and control more supply. Faith Zandre says, well, that is very good. But then when is ANC going to start giving out developed land for people who can and want to build for themselves? That's a very, very pertinent question there from Lindogutle Zondi. And Faith, again, says that instead of our leaders running to buy previously white-owned property in the suburbs, why can't they develop black suburbs? Well, South Africa, we've heard you. It's now, you can also make your voice heard by tweeting us at SABC, hashtag SABC election, and we'll read your tweets in tomorrow's show. Thank you so much for your tweets. Keep them coming. Remember, hashtag SABC election. Tabiso, Lian?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks very much, Sipira. Nice opinions, nice tweets coming through. Continue to send them, please, as you know that hashtag, SABC elections. Right, we're going to take a break, but stay with us as we're still going to be focusing on some of the hottest election news. That's,
indeed. And we also take a look at the country's biggest municipality that follows the amalgamation in the Northern Cape. Stay with us. You're watching SABC News.
There is a sign for perfectionism. There's a sign for goosebumps. Something that symbolizes more performance. A sign for a special mindset. There is a sign for everything we stand for. Audi Sport, born on the track. Built for the road. Join the League of Performance.
The cotton field story is being told through patchwork by artists to celebrate the diaspora in America.
Vitally important in telling the stories of what is happening in the refugee crisis, with migration, with questions of immigration, and I believe I, as an artist, have a moral obligation to tell these stories.
It's through paper, brush, and paint that the different faces of women are reflected by this prolific painter.
Women face a lot of challenges, discrimination, sexism, and a lot of other negative. In my paintings, I try to send a different message.
Place of the G-Men and Father Huddleston's mission. Place of Balanski's and the Odeon Cinema, and let's never forget.
Join Refilwe for that 1 hour weekly dose of arts and entertainment news every Saturday at 12.
Welcome back, and today we focus on housing, and as I said earlier, we'll cross now over to a reporter in Mbombela, in Mpumalanga, Sibongile Mkani Mpolweni. A very good evening to you, Sibongile. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, what we saw earlier, that the government has a backlog of more than 2 million houses. How's the situation in Mpumalanga?
Good evening. We're coming to you live from Mpumalanga. Behind me is the government complex and the provincial legislature. Within the province, they have a backlog of 150,000 houses that they still need to build. During the past financial year, 2015-2016, they built over 9,200 RDP houses. Those houses were built and issued to the beneficiaries. They are across across the province in municipalities such as Emalahleni, Bushbuck Ridge, and Govenbeki, among other. Those are among municipalities that the houses are situated at. Now, the housing, the Human Settlement Department is sitting at a budget of 1.3 billion. That 1.3 is only the budget of building RDP houses. Many projects within the province are continuing as we speak, but those houses have yet to be completed. Now, other issues that are at play in the province is the issue of hotspots such as Bushbuck Ridge, where the area is highly contested. It is an ANC area. There is also EFF that has been campaigning hard in the area that wants that municipality. There is also the Bushbuck Ridge Residents Association, which was formed by the residents. That association is very popular in the area as well. It's also now, as we speak, has 7 seats within that municipality. They're also campaigning in the area, and they're saying that within these elections, they want to take over the municipality. So another hotspot is Nkomazi municipality. Nkomazi and Bushbuck Ridge are similar in terms of politics and service delivery needs from the residents. The residents are complaining because of water. They have serious problems in terms of water and sewage and sanitation. And the political parties, they campaigned a lot, especially the EFF was in Nkomazi as well as the ANC. The DA also visited Nkomazi. So those areas are the hotspots within the province. What we are seeing in these elections is that more residential associations are competing. Thank you. Back to you in studio.
Well, Sibongile, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us an update on today's question, which is how can service delivery, or especially housing, be delivered to all the municipalities concerned. That was our reporter Sibongile Mkanimpolweni speaking us live from Bombela in Mpumalanga. Tabiso?
Thank you very much there, Bob Simpiwe. Yeah?
Right.
Interesting one, that one, yeah?
It is, it really is. But if you want to continue with interesting stories, let's turn our attention to what's happening in the Northern Cape. The amalgamation of the Mere municipality in the Kalahari and the Kara Hace in Uppington has basically resulted in the formation of the largest municipality in the country.
Now, it is twice the size of Gauteng and is named after the Komani San leader, David Kruiper, who fought for the land rights in the San people. Now, there are some reservations on the merger, and the concerns, of course, which all of them speak of, is service delivery.
The new municipality falls under ZF Magau District Municipality. The town of Meer lies next to the Namibian border, where the residents speak mainly Afrikaans. Issues of service delivery have plagued this community for many years. The taps have run dry in the past, and it has run out of funds, failing to pay its employees. Despite that, government says service delivery will not be hampered by this change.
We know that the incomes levels of our people in the Kalahari can't be equated to the incomes level of the people of Uppington. So that is a big benefit. The second benefit is that there will be a heightened service delivery regime made possible by the comprehensive infrastructure and municipal systems at hand from the Kara Hace municipality, which will now also be extended to our people in the Kalahari.
The municipality will now provide services to over 100,000 people. The Mere municipality served this community for 85 years. Now the new municipality will be 260 kilometers from here. The ZF Magau District Municipality believes the amalgamation is in the best interest of the people. Residents have expressed their reservations.
Sir, how can I feel happy? Do you see my face? No, I am not happy. Illiterate people manage the municipality, and illiterate people should do a better job now.
Now, we're not happy about this because since 1930, was managed by illiterate people successfully. Successfully. Meer grew well, but now there are more literate people. And the Meer is going backwards now.
David Kruiper, after whom the new municipality is named, will be remembered for his hitchhiking journey of over 1,000 kilometers that he took from the Kalahari to Cape Town to discuss the challenges of the San people with former President Thabo Mbeki. He died at the age of 71 in 2012. His family says this is a great honor for their father.
The family doesn't have a problem. It is a privilege for us because it is a loving legacy. So our children and their children know that is being named after David Kruiper.
The MEC has assured employees of both municipalities that they will not lose their jobs. Government has also undertaken to provide satellite offices for the people of Meer who will not have to travel all the way to Uppington to access services. Reginald Witboy, SABC News, Rietfontein, Northern Cape.
Well, let's have a quick look at what some of our viewers had to say on the question of housing delivery.
As for now, RDPs are still okay, because they are helping many people in rural areas, but in some cases, in the rural areas, there are lack of RDPs.
Papa got to 1995. Manga to since I want to are green to Sora Sokola. I'm going to Salamato. So I resolved to go into the thing, Mara Ferena, into the registry of officing.
Go na le batho ba ile ba registerile since bo 90 something, but still ba sa struggle for the dintlo right now because government batho ba bantši ba lebeletse the money, which is but di tšhelete tsona tse ile ba bribewa ka tsona, and then so a ba lebelele batho ba ile ba registerile khale, and o kry ile motho o nna go mokhukhung le bana, maybe o kry ile family ya teng e 10 or some more than that.
I-government singajabula uma sikhandala izindlu ngomningi bethu. Singakuthokozela lokho.
Interesting indeed. There are a lot of people speaking about wanting government to build them houses, and speaking about bribery and the whole construction companies as a whole. In fact, a couple of tweets as well. I know Simpia was doing those, but I've got a couple here as well that I'd just like to read out. One says, allocate a building plot and government should supply materials and let people build their own homes.
Yeah.
Then
I mean, that's not a bad idea. And we also got another tweet which I actually just saw recently saying that in Lesotho, every Masutu is building his or her own house. So I think government has to provide
so
the
those
jobs.
are all
That's
things that they
Moruti Tehla writing to us.
There's one more. There's one more, Leanne, that you need to see. It says, I would like to ask Mary Ann, does she ever sleep? Because she's always work.
Sleep?
Well, you know what, Betty, she's doing that because she needs to build her own home. Yeah?
Exactly, I'm building a house. I'm working double shift. In fact, I walked through the security through the security gates, and they looked at me and they said, "Oh, Mama Leanne, double shifts, double shifts." I said to me, "Yeah, Baba, time is tough. It's tough out there." All right, well, let's take a break here on the program, and after this is that segment where we give one of the smaller parties an opportunity to sell themselves in just 1 minute. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, you're with the news at 1.
Welcome to Lunchtime News Amplified.
Selection of political parties by means of a lucky draw has been a common practice for the past 22 years.
We take an in-depth look at top stories of the day and live crossings to our journalists on the scene.
First time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee.
Business news, sports update, and weather report.
Hello and welcome to News Live. I'm Natasha Thorpe. Good to have you with us.
For all things news, Tune in to Midday Report, weekdays at 12 noon, only on the SABC News Channel.
There are no permanent enemies or friends in politics.
I agree with Professor Siepe fully.
Do people still preserve the meaning?
They have no clue what it meant to be black under apartheid.
Acting Police Commissioner Phahlane dropped a bombshell in Parliament this week when he suggested there could be a possible cover-up. What do you think of this story? What kind of problems were those, Vuyo, if I can just get in there quickly?
Every corner or sphere of our lives has become a site of struggle.
Watch Media Monitor with me, Alicia Jali, Sundays at 9 a.m. only on the SABC News Channel.
Swishing cameras all around the studios here as we come to you live from Auckland Park, broadcasting every single Monday to Thursday evening at 6 o'clock on both SABC 2 and SABC News. So this is the slot we're talking about, right?
Oh, I love it. This is the one I love.
This is the good one. It's the good one.
As we said earlier at the top of the show, it's when we ask those people at home and saying, who are you voting for? They say, I'm not sure. And you're like, but you must know. It's 29 days to go. And we did promise them that come this time round, we'll try and see if with the 29 days left, we'll give you something to think about. Well, today, it's the United Democratic Party in the Northwest that promises to prioritize skills development, decrease unemployment, and ensure that citizens have 24-hour access, Leanne, 24-hour access to health facilities.
Let me just correct that name. It's the United Christian Democratic Party. So here we go. Let the clock start ticking.
We will ensure that where there is hurdles of water, we will ensure there is potable water for people. We will ensure that crime rate goes down, and we will make sure, because even our slogan, we have gone on record shouting out to say we stand out and we speak out. Every element of corruption, we will stand, we will blot it out. We have governed before. UCDP did a very good job for the Northwest, which was then Buputatswana. We did a very good job where anybody who was around at the time will not argue to say that we are indeed a force to reckon with. So vote for UCDP and vote for a better life.
Yeah, there you have it. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of yet another show right here on SABC News Channel. Thank you very much for joining us on SABC 2 as well. And of course, our sister channel, SABC News Channel 404.
Have a fantastic evening, everyone. We'll be back with you again, 6 o'clock.
Thank you so much for watching. Remember to keep those tweets coming. And I see that Twitter is on overdrive. Let me just read one more tweet. That's interesting. Nikki says, by building houses for middle-income earners because they are the ones who's buying them and people must pay for their RDP. Ouch. Yeah. Well, keep those tweets coming. #SABC election. Till next time, folks. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.